Good afternoon and welcome to the 2016 Ever Senior Curling Championship Women's Final. This afternoon's game we have Colleen Jones from the Mayflower Curling Club in Halifax taking on Sherry Anderson from the Natana Curling Club in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Been a great day here already. We had our semifinal action this morning and Colleen got through that pretty handily in her game with Kathy King, and Sherry Anderson a little tougher match with Ontario. We'll give you a little bit of the rundown on that after, but that was followed up by the Randy Furby Everest Pro-Am, which was 6 ends of just a lot of fun, really, more than anything else. Jennifer Jones coming out victorious in that one over Randy Furby. They had a lot of giveaways. They gave away shirts galore. They gave away everything. They gave away drinks. They gave away a whole lot of stuff at that event, and the players had a lot of fun. It was 4 pros and 4 amateurs from across the country. What a thrill for them to be able to go and play with the likes of Brad Jacobs, Randy Furby, Al Hackner, and Jennifer Jones. So that was just a little while ago, and the crowd from that apparently has stayed for the final, which is great. We have a great crowd building here in the arena, and looking forward to a terrific curling game here. So we mentioned Saskatoon first. We'll give you a little bit of rundown how teams got here. So Sherry Anderson started very strong this week. She started 6-0. She was undefeated in the first portion of round robin play. Then it got a little bit rocky after that, no pun intended, as Kathy Cunningham from Newfoundland beat Sherry 8-5. She managed to come back from a win there before losing twice, not 5-3 to Colleen Jones and 9-3 to Ontario's Joanne Rizzo. So she did get into the playoffs. There were 3 teams tied at 7-3, and they had to implement a tie-breaking system, and Sherry, fortunately for her, made it through that. This morning, though, she played Joanne Rizzo again, and it's ironic both teams actually played the same teams last night as they did this morning. And it was a game that really Ontario kind of seemed to have total control of for 5 ends, leading 5-2 before Anderson scored 3 in the 6th. Rizzo blanked the 7th, and then came up short on a draw for the win in the 8th. So Anderson stole a victory away there, and she's now in the final against Colleen Jones. 1 game, winner take all. And we're underway. Saskatchewan's lead, rather. Anita Silvernagel delivering an out-turn draw to the house here. Probably be a little bit of nerves, even though they just played a semifinal game. The Saskatchewan team's certainly the less experienced of the 2 teams. Sherry has played all over the place and played lots of times at very high levels, and a couple of the other girls have a little bit of exposure, but generally not a lot of national exposure on this team. So a little bit of nerves, I'm sure, in the early going. Throws that one just slightly heavy and slides through the house. Colleen Jones' team, on the other hand, with years and years and years of experience, and we'll go over some of that as we go on. But for now, Nancy Delahunt, lead for the Jones team, being asked to throw up the corner guard. Girl's working pretty hard on this. She's going to be okay, just not going to be quite as deep as she would like. So the corner set up. Sherry Anderson now going to ask Anita again to throw up another, this time a guard, right around that bell line symbol. Nice looking slide, nice release, lots of handle. Got it out to the broom, good throw. Sweeper's doing a little bit of work on it. Maybe just a hair heavy. No. It's going to stop here. He's going to give it a couple of brushes, and that's just about perfect. Great shot. Great start for Anita Silvernagel. So if you're close, if you're somewhere in the area, we do have 8 ends of curling. We have a couple hours here, so feel free to jump in the car and come on over and see us. Taking a great game. We have 4 games going on, 2 gold medal games, 1 men, 1 women, and 2 bronze medal games. Good looking shot here, Nancy Delahunt. Kim getting on it a little bit. Kim Kelly making sure it doesn't hit that guard. And a good shot. Nancy Delahunt, great shot. Almost over curl. Might even a little bit. Seeing what Sherry Anderson's seeing, asking her team what she can see here. So they think they can get it. Asking for a 10 being the number of seconds between the 2 hog lines, and the lower the number, the harder the throw. So second stone for the Anderson team is Brenda Gertson. She'll be asked to play the intern 10 is pretty close to normal weight, maybe down slightly. This looks pretty good. She removes it, does roll out, but that's probably the best she could do, and a really nice throw for the first throw of the game. Not an easy shot. Really like to start with something a little easier than that. So Colleen Jones going to go out and peel this guard off. No surprise there. This is a pretty dangerous rock for the Saskatchewan team. Mary Sue Radford, second stone for Team Nova Scotia. And going to hit it on the nose. So not exactly what you wanted, but it is your rock now. So it's better that, if you're Nova Scotia, it's better that that's yellow than red. The Anderson team, Team Saskatchewan rather, will be asked to throw the out-turn draw. Come right around that yellow one. Sherry, no fear of being aggressive in Sherry Anderson. She likes to play that way. Expect you'll see a fair number of rocks in play. If she has anything to say about it. This one looks okay. They're going to have to work a little bit. I think it might just be a touch light. And it's all three people out. There you go, just two now. Sweeping, Sherry's going to try to make that curl a little bit more. It's a good shot. Great start. Really great start for Brenda Gertson. Calling asks her team what you can see again. I kind of think you're going to throw the run back here. It's run it back. You get to remove that stone, probably roll over to the corner. You might even be able to roll your own rock behind your shooter. So a little more weight here. Colleen's asking Mary Sue to throw a 9, which is firm weight. Probably what some teams might call up normal or thereabouts. On its way, should be good. They held it, and they did. Great shot, Mary Sue Radford. Mary Sue's daughter's in the crowd today, maybe others, but I do know that Katrina's here. I saw her earlier, sporting a blue nose. So that was a great shot, giving Saskatchewan a very difficult shot here. Looking for a little lighter weight. Tough shot here. And even if you make it, you're not really in a terrific position, but you don't have much choice but to play it. Saskatchewan third is Patty Hersicorn. Patty from Porcupine Plains, Saskatchewan. I kind of thought that was a neat name. Sweeper's going on it. Got to go real hard. This is curling pretty hard. I think she's going to be on that guard. Maybe come off her own over here. No. Does bump it in, which might come into play should Colleen be in a position later where she'd like to be able to blank the end. Playing with the hammer in this game by virtue of her first place finish in the round robin. And she did have a victory over Sherry Anderson earlier in the round robin as well. So try to split the house here. Try to keep these rocks fairly even as far as the depth goes. Maybe just a little heavy, but should be okay. That's a pretty tough double. Makeable, but tough. Not even going to try it. Sherry Anderson's going to hit the 1 in the 8 foot. Try to roll a little bit towards the center. A bit surprised, but I would have thought maybe she'd play the other rock. She must have something in mind here. So it's an out-turn hit for Patty Hersicorn. Throws a nice stone. Real great delivery. Nice square shoulders. A long slide. And she rolls about to the center line. That's a nice shot. So for Saskatchewan, that gets the rocks a little bit closer together. And if it happens that Nova Scotia doesn't roll towards the left-hand side of our sheet as we look at it now, the right-hand side of our sheet, she'll have a good opportunity to double for Sherry Anderson. Kim Kelly, again, as we often say, just doesn't miss very much. So better work hard on this one though. This one's curling a little bit more than she'd like. And a rollout. Bad break, mostly because of that red biter that we talked about earlier, because now Saskatchewan can force Nova Scotia to one by doing nothing other than basic shots. Make 2 takeouts in a row, and you'll force Colleen Jones to take 1, which is the way when you started this end, that was your main goal. Force to 1. Secondary goal might be to try to steal 1, but force to 1 would be the plan. So a big roll out there. It's important for Sherry to stay on this. Sherry throwing the in-turn hit. Just nice weight. I don't think they'll try to roll this behind the corner, but they might. No. That's perfect. Great shot. Good shot by Sherry Anderson. Colleen has no choice but just to hit it. And, you know, if you could ever make like a 2, 4, 6 foot, 5 foot, 5.5 foot roll, that would be wonderful too, but that would certainly not be the call here. Can't really do too much but just to hit it. Colleen Jones has been to no less than 21 Scotties. It's just remarkable and hard to even fathom. A lot of good curlers in Nova Scotia over the years, but none could come close to this lady. And really, none could beat her very often. I don't know what years she won in, but it's pretty much every year. And then she's been, I think, to 4 Canadian seniors maybe now. This might be her 4th, I think. So, out turn hit. Turn hit, needs to curl a little bit. It should be fine. Good shot. Maybe would have been good to roll another foot towards the left-hand side of the sheet, but you had to be careful because Sherry could also, Saskatchewan could also hit and roll behind the guard and force you to draw against 2. She'd probably just rather have an open hit at this point. Few draws here. The Bell Lions covered 21 draws. I just heard Scott saying earlier and he's been here since the start, so this is his 21st draw of curling. That is a lot of curling, a lot of broadcasting, and Bell Lions brought you basically 2 games a draw, so 42 games of curling from this event. That is remarkable. We are very happy to have them on board as the broadcast partner of the Canadian seniors, Canadian seniors. So Sherry makes the hit. Colleen will have the same thing. I don't know if she has to roll at all. It almost looks like she might have to roll just a few inches to get shot. Hard to tell. Didn't really talk about it very long, so I'm thinking a nose hit will do this. Colleen cleaning the stone. That little running edge on the stone, for anybody who doesn't know, is only about 1/4 of an inch wide or thick. It goes all the way around the bottom of the stone, probably about on a diameter of 4 or 5 inches. And that's what the stone runs on. It doesn't run on a flat surface. It runs right on the cup or the bottom of the saucer, if you will. So Colleen's got this one underway, and even though Kim's sweeping pretty hard, I think she's fine. Just a matter of, yeah, looks like she shot as well. So, good shot for Colleen Jones. Would have liked to start with 2, but can't get 2 if they have 2 in when you throw your last shot. You don't have any, so good shot for Colleen, and a 1 point goes up on the board for Nova Scotia. 1-0 lead after 1 end of play. 7 more ends remain in the Everest Senior Curling Championships here. Women's Championship Final. Tiny bit of a break while the girls get together, as they always do. You're allowed, I don't know what it is, probably about a minute between ends, maybe 45 seconds before your clock starts. And they don't take very long. I'm sure they just sort of go down and say, okay, girls, like, you know, hold them to 1. Have to steal, have to force, whatever it might be, just a few words, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So no surprises in any of the shot selections or calls by Colleen, and just a little bit of positive feedback and get at it. So Nancy Delhunt being asked to throw the draw, obviously. Draw to probably the top 4 if they can get there. Colleen going out to help sweep. Not bad looking technique for a skip. So Anderson now going to the corner guard game. Sherry not going to fool around here, not going to go up and down the sheet. Figures that might be what Colleen would like to do right now for a couple of hands after scoring the 1 in the first end, but just going to try to push the limit a little bit here and get some aggressive play going. Lead Anita Silvernagel throwing an in-turn corner guard. And it looks to be good if it doesn't go too far. Those are sweeping that a little bit. Maybe just a smidge deep. Not bad though. So Colleen hollering down top 12. Now pointing a little bit out front of that. So I would say anywhere from a couple feet short to the top 12 would be acceptable here. Nancy Delahunt. As I say, Nancy has been on this team with Colleen a long time. She's won 5 Scotties, 5 Canadian championships, 2 World Championships. The theme of that will be pretty apparent as we go through this lineup. From Montreal, Quebec initially, or originally. Good shot. That's just about perfect, I'd say. So once again, Sherry Anderson ignoring it, going behind the corners. You might remember the game this morning when the men's team seemed to be a little bit more inclined to play the corner freeze on the yellow one. Particularly the Ursel team from Quebec. It was they throw the corner up, but then not really kind of go hard to use it. Maybe that cost them a little bit. Both semifinal games we broadcast this morning were steals in the last end to win, and unfortunate for the teams with hammers. So this looks pretty good. We're going to try to get it back so it's not visible. And it's even shot rock, I think. So great shot. 2 good shots. Lead's playing well here. 4 shots made perfect. So a little bit of a split, I guess, here, maybe. Have to just have a look and see what she's playing here. No, she's going after that one in the house. Try to get the corner guard, maybe. Plan B, that's good. And roll to a pretty nice spot. Good shot for Mary Sue. Now Sherry Anderson has to think a little bit what she's going to do. Those rocks might have lined up to jam on the red, but maybe not. Hard to tell with this view. Sherry looking at it, she sort of looks like it's probably going to jam, but so you're going to throw the out turn. See there, you're going to throw the out turn hit. Yeah, I can't see the red one there, so I'm not sure what the line is, but the fact she's playing this shot would indicate that she really is not comfortable with the jam possibility. So Brenda Gertson has this one on the way. She will try to hit this and actually roll over in front of her own, provide the corner guard in front of her own rock at the back of the 8-foot there. I'm not sure what's going to happen here exactly. She's going to jam it anyway, I guess. Well, after all that, it didn't matter. She could have played either turn and done that. Actually, it really didn't work out well for Saskatchewan. They didn't get the corner guard, and now they have 2 yellows in the house, 2 Nova Scotia stones in the house. Colleen asking for a tight guard. Girls working hard here. This is not going to quite get around there, but it does most of what she wanted. You see Sherry hit. Oh, she's maybe thinking about playing the red one. Thought she might run the yellow here. Problem with playing the red one, if you don't happen to make it over curls or something like that, then Colleen's guarding again, and it's going to get a little messy. I think I might try to run the yellow back, and at worst case scenario, I'd have 2 reds in front. But it's on its way. This is the call, and I think she's pretty close, trying to make it curl a little bit. Needs to curl a little bit more yet. And it will at least remove that stone. So a good shot. Not 100%, but a good shot. So Nova Scotia now will try to come around on the other side, on the outturn side. Kim Kelly. Was working hard on this one too. Gonna have to go really hard to hold it up. Sneak it by that guard. It'll be good. And they did. Colleen all over it now and drags it into the 8-foot. Good shot by Kim Kelly. So Sherry Anderson with a little signal that somewhere around the knee. I'm thinking that could mean hack weight. Okay. So what they're trying to do here is actually remove that yellow, but roll the shooter onto the rings. Strategy a little different than I would have thought she might play this in, but this is a good shot. If she makes this shot, it's good. Just don't want to tap this in and leave the shooter right there is all. Pretty good if it curls a little bit more. No, she's going after the back one now. So a little change of strategy there, mostly because I think it was heavy. It's only supposed to be hack weight, and it certainly seemed to be well over that. She does remove the shot stone at least. So I give her 50% on that one. Kim's out turn on the way. On this one again, calling it out again to sweep. So it's going to be a little light. I think you'll see Sherry Anderson come right around now. Out-turn draw. Sherry says, "Let's go, girls." Trying to get in there ahead of the Jones team. Just keep up with the Joneses. Sometimes you got to pass them. It's on its way. Saskatchewan third, Patty Hersigan. A little bit of a, what do we call that? Throwing off the shoulder, basically. You can tell she slides, body goes a little inside. Rock stays a little bit on the outside and throws a little bit off the shoulder, but as long as you can repeat that and do the same thing every time and it feels good, then fine. They've played a few guys over the years that throw like that. It can be difficult on your head watching it if you're not quite sure how they pull that off. And I don't know if it has anything to do with being right eye or left eye dominant or any of that stuff, but I've played a couple of guys that have been great players and make tons of shots, and that's how they throw. Just throw a little bit off the shoulder instead of having the rock right in front of them. It's just kind of straight down their arm, but just a little bit off from the center of between your eyes, if you will. So a good shot, though. Great shot either way. About 1 foot less weight would have been ideal, but still a heck of a shot. Colleen's going to try to follow that down. She can't afford to bounce off it at all. Probably can afford to be a little bit light. Get her stop a couple feet short. Not the end of the world. This one must be moving a little bit. They're all over it. Oh, a little dizzy there. Good looking shot. Might be shot. Wow, what a shot. Great shot by Colleen Jones. You can't throw it any better than that, guys. So now Sherry Anderson will look to peel both these guards off. Not too difficult to remove both. Force Colleen to make a good guard on her next one. But I'll tell you, if she does, there's an awful good chance she's going to steal one. First, though, Sherry has to make this shot and get rid of these guards. If you ever just get one of these, then you're going to have a real hard time scoring, because if Colleen can throw up a second guard, you're going to have a very hard time getting in there. Sherry won't be happy with that shot. Won't be happy with that at all. She might have got lucky enough that she can possibly drag that yellow one into the red. By that I mean hit the high guard a little bit on the outside, on the right-hand side, coming into it, and it will actually, instead of the rock going straight back the way you think it will, it'll actually drag a little bit to the left, just because of the angles and all that kind of stuff. If you have a son or daughter that's in school doing physics or something, you probably get them to explain that to you. But basically, you draw a straight line through the two rocks, and that's where it's going to go. And that one there certainly looks like you could drag it right into the yellow, but it is a little bit risky, because you do run they're both yellow, so you do run the risk of giving up a point or two maybe if you get really unlucky. So, because the drag is a little tough to figure out sometimes. It's hard to know exactly how much it's going to go. Sometimes they drag a little further than you want them to. So anyway, Colleen's playing the out turn. I'm guessing she's playing the out turn, come around right pretty much to the top of the forefoot, just in case Sherry does anything radically good. Well, let's wait. I'm not doing much with this one. I'm not sure that she did want it quite in that far. Maybe she just was calling a straight guard. It would seem to indicate that. Otherwise, they would have been sweeping that a little bit at least. So Sherry Anderson says, I'm not going to look at that drag effect rock. I'm going to look at the in-off for two. Super hard shot. Payoff is pretty good, though. If you ever make it, you get two. So, see where the third stone is. Patty Herskin holding the broom way out in the wings. Sherry's going to throw the in-turn in-off, we're going to call it. So she hits about half a rock, maybe a little bit less. Goes all the way across the sheet, takes the one off the center line, and she scores two. Pretty easy game. Sherry's got it on the way. Be a little careful here. You pick out your own, you give up two. Trying to get it to curl a little bit. It's close. Oh, just needed to hold it a little bit more. Great effort. Great effort by Sherry Anderson, but Colleen Jones, Team Nova Scotia, steals one in the second end and takes a 2-0 lead after 2 ends of play here at the 2016 Ever Senior Curling Championships Women's Final. We're ready to go now again in the third in. I don't have any updates for you. I can't quite get the my equipment here to pick up the internet signal, so we'll have to try to give them to you in other ways. I can tell you that in the men's final, Ontario leads Manitoba 1-0 after 2 ends of play. That game being covered by Scott Squires and Christy Gamble on our other feed. If you're wanting to pop in there a little bit, you'll have an opportunity to listen to Scott and Christy calling the men's game. I'm guessing that's going to be a great game as well. These are good teams. These 8 teams out here today are just super good teams. So Nancy throwing this one into the top of the 8-foot or so. Probably, look for a couple more feet, but that does the job. Sherry steps up to call the corner guard once again. Throw it right over there on the E on the bell. Should be good. Put them on the E on one side, the N on the other side, and you got it covered as far as the corner guard game goes. Lead Anita Silvernagel on the corner guard. We're here at the Digby Area Recreation Center. Nice facility. Hockey rink on one side, curling club now, and then the curling club attached on the other side. Just go through one door and you're, 2 doors I guess, but they're very close together. And you just move from the curling club to the arena. It's a perfect setting for this event. You need this many sheets of ice. There's 5 sheets here, 4 sheets in the curling club. Not using the curling club today. We only need the one facility, and that would be this one. Curling clubs aren't really made for many people to watch final events. You certainly couldn't put all these people in. We've got a great crowd here. It's just a really big crowd this afternoon. So pretty good shot. Sherry doesn't have much choice but to move that one. Won't be any panic in Sherry Anderson. She's played a lot of games. Played at very high levels. The fact she's down 2-0 after a couple ends is really no biggie. Sounds like Anita might have got this one going pretty good. Never like when I hear people hollering hard for a piece. Well, it worked. They did get a piece, did remove it. Holly now looking to remove the corner guard. Right, the 5th stone in the end, you can do that. Mary Sue Radford. I like the way Mary Sue is throwing this week. I haven't seen Mary Sue a whole lot over the last couple years, but I know she used to be a skip, and I never really pictured her as a 2nd stone, and she made a believer of me this week. She's got the weight. She's able to get it up there where you need to have it to open things up. Really impressed with how she's throwing the stone. And has a great concept of the new directional sweeping as well. I mentioned before, this team seems to have it figured out. I think that's pretty good, and they believe in it, and they pick it up when they got to pick it up, and it's all good. Sherry Anderson just going to ignore those rocks still. Throw up the corner guard, maybe not quite as far over. You just don't want to guard one of these rocks. You'd like to just sort of be in the middle of the 2 of them, which would make it difficult to remove without jamming on one of yours or popping it straight through the hole. But if you do that, you leave your own corner guard. So I think this is a really good call by Sherry Anderson and good positioning for this rock. It's going to be perfect. So that's a great shot. You can see the problem it calls for Colleen. If it had gone about another foot, it would have been even more difficult, but Colleen's looking at leaving it. saying, okay, well, let's just throw guard. But instead, she's going to play the peel. So Mary Sue in the hack. A little bit of breathing. And here it comes. Lots of weight on this shot. Never been able to figure out how to throw that much weight, so I love it when people can throw it that hard. Especially people that aren't necessarily, or that haven't necessarily thrown that shot in their whole career. So unlucky, but that's why Sherry put it there. We talked about that. You put it in that spot, forces the other team to have a difficult peel. Mary Sue threw a great rock. Nothing wrong with how she threw it. Weight was good. I thought the line was good when she let it go. Just bad breaks. It's just hard to remove a rock sometimes when the other rocks are in the way. So you can see how Saskatchewan took the advantage of those rocks in the house by leaving them there and doing something that caused Colleen to jam one. Early in the end, though. Second stone, Brenda Gertson. Had her eyes closed there for a second. I think she thought she might have thrown a little heavy. It does look a little bit heavy, but well, the little bump, that probably helps. No, that's not so bad. Number 1 and number 3. Not what you were playing. You were trying to just kind of play something a little different than that, but whatever. You do have 2 in the house. You might need a rollout, or you might need a little something happening here. Kim Kelly. Out turn hit. Mary Sue trying to hold it straight. And well swept. Good throw. Game moving right along here. We're halfway through the third end. This women's championship final for the gold medal. Not a lot of money in this event. Hope the gold medal is really gold. Playing for pride and a chance to represent Canada at the World Senior Championships. Not quite sure where they are either. I'll try to find that out for you. Won't be until next year. Pretty good shot. Nice to be a couple more feet, but that's not bad. I'm playing the high one here. Might be trying to make the double. I'm not quite sure. She's surprised a little bit that she's playing this one, but I like the fact that you're giving yourself a chance to make both. Good throw for Kim Kelly. Sherry trying to decide here. She's thinking about the out turn come around. That's what she's going to play. Probably the best shot. You don't have shot rock right now. That's the only problem here. And it's difficult because you really don't have much choice but to ignore the fact that you don't have shot rock and go around this corner. So if you play anything else, it's going to be, you're going to have your rocks grouped pretty darn close together. So the World Seniors are actually coming up in about 2 weeks. These winning teams won't have a lot of time to turn it around, but it'll be an awesome trip. They're going to play it in Karlstad, Sweden, 3rd week of April. Producer Scott just kind of gave me that information, which was great. So a very nice shot here. Colleen has to make one, but she made a pistol there at the last end to set up that steal, so I don't expect her to be right on top of this red, and if she is, it's going to be really difficult for Sherry Anderson to get her too. She will have to play something on her own red on her next shot, at least sit to, and then force maybe Colleen to try to make the double. So yeah, not a lot of time to turn around. Today is April the 2nd. Starts on the 15th, I guess, so. World Seniors moves to Lethbridge, Alberta. From Nova Scotia, want to watch some more great curling. The Canadian mixed is going to be held in Yarmouth in the late fall of this year. Nova Scotia Representative Paul Fleming will be taking on the rest of Canada. Kim working hard on this one. Got to get by that guard. And it does. Colleen Jones just on fire here. She's just playing great. Terrific shot. Sherry doesn't necessarily have to play. She could play the same shot Colleen played, but she has to be really careful that she gets the opportunity to score. So she's going to play the little run back, I guess, is what we'll call that. Just a little short 3-foot run back with probably not too awful much weight. I don't think she can sit 2 when she's done with this shot. I think she can sit 1 and 3, which she would if she just hit it on the nose. She'd sit 1. Yeah, 1 and 3 and 4. But she might be able to curl this, or get a little bit to the low side, so a little bit to the left side of center on the rock, and hit it back onto the yellow, have that stick there, and just roll her shooter in. So it might be number 2 if she can get enough action, but really, really precise roll and hit on the object stone here. So it would be a very difficult shot, but makeable. Is the idea. So we might have that wrong. Actually, we might have the, as far as when the winner of this goes, it's this year or next year. A tweet here from one of our favorite people. Whoever wants to show up on my phone. There's a bit of agony here. So Colleen now will play the double. She makes the double. She'll force Saskatchewan Sherry Anderson to make a good shot for 1. That's all Sherry could really do on that. Colleen's out turn takeout. We mentioned yesterday, formerly her favorite shot in the world. She just didn't throw as much yesterday as I would have thought. But she always throws it pretty darn close. Close on this. And there you go. Colleen Jones just pretty much making everything today. Very nice throw by Colleen. Never really any doubt on that. You kind of know when, you know, the sweepers are dusting and one person's saying, yeah, a little bit. One person's hollering no a little bit. You know it's really close, and you're usually going to make that shot. And no surprise that Colleen made that one. You get Colleen on ice that works the way she likes it. Ice that has a little bit of speed. She throws every rock right at the broom and reads the ice so well that she's going to make 19 out of 20 of those for sure. So Sherry Anderson forced with a draw for 1, and not an easy draw. You have to be a little bit careful here. they got to go a little bit. This looks a little on the light side. Are they going to get it there? I don't think so. No, came up about 2 feet short. And Nova Scotia will steal another point and go out to a 3-0 lead after 3 ends of play. So Nova Scotia doing pretty much everything right here. Saskatchewan not doing all that much wrong, but just really being a little bit outplayed. Colleen is just outplaying Sherry a little bit. Just enough here that 3-0 lead for Team Nova Scotia in this final game, the Women's Championship at the Everest Senior Curling Championships at Digby, Nova Scotia. Digby Area Recreation Center is where we are. Bringing you the game here with Bell Alliant TV1. Bell Alliant, proud to be the official broadcaster of the 2016 Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships from Digby Arena here in Digby. Bell Alliant, where there's more to love with fiber op. Jim Nix here with the call, and Scott Squires, Christy Gamble on the other game. Scott's had done the yeoman's job this week, being here for 21 games, as I mentioned earlier. Christy stepping in today for the semifinals and finals. Great. Just a great player, knows the game, and a big help having Christy in the booth with Scott doing the men's game. The men's game now is at 3-0. Ontario leading Manitoba. Manitoba, obviously the hottest team in the men's side coming into this. They just tromped people yesterday. They beat Alan O'Leary badly. They beat someone else badly. They pounded Alan O'Leary again this morning. Pounded, that's a little strong, but certainly handled them without any great difficulty. Got a little closer towards the end of the game, but Manitoba's just been on fire and now trailing Ontario 3-0. Ontario actually won that game when BC's Bob Ursel played a really difficult double on his last shot and really missed it probably by about 1 inch. Had to move 2 stones and got the one rock out and got the other rock moving solidly across the sheet and probably had to go 1 inch further. That was a really difficult shot. And Ontario escaped with a victory after looking like they may lose that game. So here we are, 3-0. Same modem here, or same MO here. We've got the rock going in the rings and the corner guard going up and another rock going in the rings, and see what happens from there. This is a nice thing, Nancy, long time lead and just doesn't make very many mistakes with these. I've said before, if your leads work and your lead's making the shots they need to make, it can be a not an easy game, but a much easier game than when they're not making shots. This one may not be quite what they wanted, but just didn't curl. They were actually playing a little bit of a freeze tap shot, and it didn't curl, but it's at the back of the 8-foot, something that they might be able to use after a bit. So Sherry looking to move this yellow one around a little bit, bump it back, maybe create a little bit of a wall. A little behind the corner maybe. Anita Silvernagel. She doesn't look real happy with this one. Not quite sure what the problem is. Because they're playing a draw. I didn't realize. I thought they were moving that yellow one. So this one's a little bit heavy. Needs to stay, as long as it stays somewhere. Well, not a long way from perfect, but it's in the house. They can't count if they're not in the house. And that one's in the house, and Colleen's going to call the peel on the corner guard, play all defense this end. Colleen willing to give up a deuce at this point if she has to. I'm sure she doesn't want to. We never ever like to give up twos. Skips, we'd like to be able to keep it to 1. Actually, we'd probably like it if the other team never scored, but Mary Sue also not looking super happy with their shot. Wow, this one's curling a mile. And, whoa, almost takes out the Yellowstone, but not quite. Does the job. Like I said, it's on paper, she made it perfect. In reality, she got it going a little bit. Had to make it on the low side, but that works too. There's 2 sides to every curling stone. When you're just playing a peel, either side usually works. So Saskatchewan now going to play the out turn come around. Try to get one back at the back of the forefoot in front of the back yellow. They do need to start to make a couple of these. They've been close, but they haven't been right on. And if they're going to turn this game around, they need to do it soon. Because if you know one thing about this Jones team is that they can play some defense. They love to hit. They do it very well. Particularly Kim and Colleen at the back end. You're not going to get very many misses. So you better give them tough shots. So this shot again, an absolutely perfect looking shot. It just needed another 6 feet of weight. Instead, they've got a fairly easy hit. And the intern probably trying to stay on this, probably trying to just hit it roll over to the left-hand side. Imagine she looked at the double. If you can manage to pick off the back red, that's a bonus. Fourth end here in the women's final. Kim Kelly working hard, and it's going to be close. And is it going to get it out? And she does. The Nova Scotia crowd goes a little crazy over there. Flags going, all kinds of stuff. Friends and family. And others. So this end is not shaping up the way that Sherry Anderson needs it to shape up for scoring a couple of points, that's for sure. Looking to play a tap on this, try to move the yellow one back, get a red one somewhere in play in the front. See what happens. Brenda Gertson, maybe she just does that every time. She closes her eyes just for a couple of seconds. So we've got a little hit, bumped it back, moved a few things around. That's basically what she was trying to do. I think, pretty much. I don't see you could have gotten much better than that. Scotia, no trouble removing that. But Sherry does have an opportunity here. She has a corner guard that she can use. It's probably over a little bit too far. It's just on the edge of the B. And like I said before, that probably the E and the N are both prime spots. Maybe fully on the B might work, but if you're outside of Bella Lions, you're outside of where you want to be. So here we have the out turn draw. This is a freeze attempt. Saskatchewan third. Patty Hersicorn. Girls just cleaning a little bit. Weight's probably pretty close by the judging of the sweepers. Not working real hard. They don't want to bump this too much. There's a great shot. Terrific shot by Saskatchewan third, Patty Hersicorn. So Colleen will try to blast this one out of there. Blast it on the other side, I guess. Kim Kelly driving out of the hack. Saying much right now. Yeah, she's trying to help it curl a little bit. And she does remove it. Sherry Anderson with an opportunity, though. First time in probably maybe the whole game that she's going to be able to sit two. Sherry Anderson asking Patty after making that great freeze to make a little bit of a hit and maybe a little flop behind the high yellow one. Just a few rocks away from the fourth end break here. Can't tell exactly where this is. They really would like to roll a little with this one. And they will, but not maybe quite as much as they would have liked. tough roll. If you roll that about another 6-8 inches, then you might set up a double for Colleen Jones rather, and you know so you got to be a little careful. Tough double now. Colleen could play the hit and roll behind the guard though, or behind the high yellow one. Either way, 3-0 lead. Plan A here, make it go away. So the men's final now at the break. Ontario leading 3-1. They will have hammer when they go to the 5th end in that game. Catch that game on our other feed. And Colleen Jones going to be playing the out-turn hit here. And stay anywhere is a good shot. Oh, this one's out there. This one is out there, hollering for a piece. That's never a good sign. Ah, she hit a pretty big piece, about a half a stone. So not really as much panic as it sounded like, I don't think. But if they had got a little thinner, actually, if they had not helped it curl quite so much, they might have made the double. Sherry Anderson now drawing to sit 2. Sherry really needs the 2 here. She needs to get back within 1 at the break. Not so much because it's within 1, but more so that you're not going to have hammer at the next end either. So, as in the men's game, they're down 3-1. Manitoba down 3-1 without the hammer going to the 5th. That gets to be a task. And here, Sherry, if she only gets 1, will be down 3-1 also. So. Joining in the booth right now on the other headset, but Mr. Al Hackner. Certainly a thrill to have him join our Bill Lyon TV group. Everybody remembers the shot from back in the day when Ryan thought he won the Brier, and Al made sure he didn't. My wife reminds me that she was at that game every time I talk about curling. I probably watched 10,000 times more curling than she has, but she does remind me constantly that she did see the Al Hackner shot in Moncton, I believe, New Brunswick. So Sherry Anderson, the out-turn draw. This one is looking a little bit heavy. The sweepers are not doing anything with it. This has to stop for Anderson. Third stone, certainly more confident than I would have been that was going to stay. Had her hand up early. I know it was a skip. I don't mind you doing that. I like that if you're sure that you let me know that it's going to stop, but I really don't like if you make a mistake. So anyway, and they are looking at it. This is not quite as close as you might think. Sometimes I wonder if thirds do that just to try to psych out the other team. I'm sure that wasn't the case with Patty. I'm sure she thought it was going to stop. And it may have. We don't know yet. I don't know. Well, it does change things kind of, because if she's number 2, then Colleen may take a run at the double, and certainly the hit and roll. And if she isn't, then Colleen just hits and stays and forces Sherry to her 1. So I'm guessing that the red is number 2. And it's totally a guess because we don't have overhead cameras here, and it just wasn't possible to put those in for the guys. So so we don't really know at the end of the day. It's Colleen Jones with a 3-0 lead here in the 4th end. Women's Championship final against Sherry Anderson of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. We'll play an out-turn hit. Probably a hit and roll. Either way, she's probably going to try to roll this. But mostly make it go away, make it stay, make sure you make a shot for 1 or 2, whatever it is. Mary Sue trying to make it curl. Seems like we say that a lot these days. And I don't think it's going to curl quite where she wanted it, but girls are looking at it again. Patty's having a look, saying, well, I wonder if I was really right when I had my arm up there. But from here, it sure looks red. But you know what? The game ended this morning. The Ontario and BC game ended, and I thought I really thought that Team BC had won that game, and they didn't even measure it. So the angles are certainly deceiving at best. But either way, I think you'll see them probably measure this if she hits and stays, or if she hits and rolls out. But for Anderson, she absolutely needs to hit and stay. She needs to pick up 2 here. Comes cleaning it, and no problem for Sherry. And we'll see what they do here. I'm thinking they're going to measure this. So 1 for sure for Saskatchewan. We'll hang in here long enough to see how this measure goes before we take our break. 5-minute break here at the end of the 4th end. Teams will get a chance to get refreshed, have a little something to eat. We never used to eat in games, but now they do. They just kind of have a little granola bar or a little bit of fruit, something with a little bit of sugar in it, just to get those energy levels back up. You have about an hour and a bit worth of curling left. So here's the measure. Whoop. You tighten it up a little bit. So we can't see it, so we'll just have to figure it out when it comes around. Looked like it touched a little bit of it. We'll see what this one does. Looks like it touched a little bit of it, so we'll ask the official to let us know. Oh, so the red is out. So it should only be a count of 1 for Saskatchewan. Unfortunate. And we go to the 4th end break. Nova Scotia leading 3-1. And we will be back in 5.
What's not to love about Nova Scotia? Our people!
Hey! Nova Scotia is where some of the best folks in all of Canada live.
The natural wonder of the Bay of Fundy. More water flows in and out of the Bay of Fundy every day than all the freshwater rivers of the world combined. And there's nothing like living life on the edge.
Our history. We've had some big name celebrities drop by in the past. The United Empire Loyalists, Babe Ruth, and Admiral Digby. But we really don't like to brag. What I love most about Nova Scotia is our small towns. Hi, I'm Ben Cleveland, the mayor of the town of Digby, Nova Scotia. Where there are no strangers, just friends you haven't met yet.
So when are you coming?
I'm Paul Gidney. I'm a scallop fisherman from Digby, Nova Scotia. Well, this is our annual event. It's called Digby Scallop Days. There's roughly 100 scallop licenses in our fleet. Our main event is, of course, our shocking contest. There's 2 shells that are hooked together, and we have to take them apart and take the muscle out of that, which is your scallop. I was fortunate today. I actually won the shocking contest.
I want to invite the whole world to come to Nova Scotia and Digby, to be here, to relax, reload batteries for the next year.
The beauty of the surroundings here. You have absolutely gorgeous vistas. Everywhere you look, there's another beautiful harbor, there's another beautiful lake. You cannot go anywhere without people smiling and being friendly.
We have the best seafood in the world. I lived here all my life. I don't want to be anywhere else.
Get some garlic butter on there, give it a good slug, wipe it around a bit. These are caught yesterday. Some people check scallops quality by eating raw scallops.
Push them in a tight eat them like that.
Yep.
Like that.
I'm just spreading them out here. and they won't be jammed up together. We roll them over, get the other side cooking. And by the time I do that to the whole tray, the first ones will be done. A little bit of garlic butter in a couple of minutes, and that's all you need. And they'll serve them right quick on the scallop stove with a slice of lemon, and they're ready to roll.
What's not to love about Nova?
After the fifth end or fourth end break, actually, I just got a little back to the day where everything was 10 ends. Sherry Anderson going to have to go hard here to get back in this game. Down 3-1. Throw up a couple of guards early and see if she can work her way back. Going to be tough. Colleen Jones's team playing very, very well. See. Thank you. See the scoreboard there, a series of ones on the board. Nobody mounting big offense, but Colleen with 2 consecutive steals to take a 3-0 lead after 3, and Sherry, what looked like she might end up with a 2 in the last end, ended up only getting 1, and 3-1 deficit at the break without hammer. Got to work pretty hard. Colleen going to the open side. Again, we mentioned yesterday, that's a strategy we don't see a lot anymore, and perhaps a strategy that you kind of wonder why you don't see. I think this will be another guard. I don't think you're on the come in yet. Thanks, Kristen. Well, one of my fellow commentators today been replaced temporarily by Al Hackner for some weird reason. Down and check the scores, so we do know that Alan O'Leary's Nova Scotia team is tied 3-3 in the bronze medal game against BC. So good game going on over there. And Alberta leading Ontario in the ladies' bronze medal game on sheet E by a score of 4-1. So Sherry gets her guards up. She's got 2 guards up there to work with. It's just what you want. Colleen's going to split the house. Oh, no, she's not. Okay, she's going to throw up here and probably throw a corner on this one on the outside, on the left-hand side. And you're going to see Sherry Anderson no doubt ignore this unless it goes in the house. She may play it if it's in the house. This will be an interesting call here. Problem with playing it is that as soon as you play it, then Colleen can go up and peel those guards off, and all of a sudden your end is over. But she's going to play it anyway. If you can ever make the roll, would be good. Make the double wouldn't be terrible, but make the roll would probably be better. And second stone, Brenda Gertson delivering this shot. They desperately need to stay on this shot. think she's going to. Well, hung around for a biter. Don't think that's going to do you any good. I really thought Sherry might make a go there coming around. You're going to throw those two guards up there. I think at some point you have to say, okay, you know, it's time. We just really can't afford to keep going at this route. And I know she was down earlier today, so she probably knows a little better than I do how to make a comeback. But I like the idea of coming around that one. You get the two guards up. Mary Sue Radford playing the peel here and makes it perfect. Mary Sue having a terrific game today. And then there you go. So everything you had is gone. Now you're playing a hitting game to try to force Colleen to 1. So now you have to stay. Now it's absolutely imperative that you stay. So a real nice throw there by Brenda. Sitting 2. Saskatchewan sitting 2, and they will hope now that they can force Colleen to have to take 1 in this end. The rock partially behind the corner guard's a help. It'd be pretty tough for Colleen to do anything behind there. And as long as they can hit and stay 4 times here, they can probably make the force happen. This one's going to roll out. And it does. So now you'll see Sherry probably just split the house. I don't think you can, there's not much chance you're going to manufacture a steal here, so I think you might as well just go ahead, yeah, just tap there and put it in and try to run this out. So just drawing the house here. Good throw, Patty Hersican. There's a corn. Colleen's just going to play ahead. You know what's going to happen here. It's just, there's no secrets to this strategy. It's just Colleen remove rocks, and Sherry Anderson makes sure that she keeps 2 rocks in the house at all times and forces Colleen to 1. Gets a hammer back playing 6. She'll need at least a couple points in the 6th end for sure. Good throw by Kim Kelly. It's a nose hit. On the way, this one has to stay. Might be a little late with the help and the sweep, but nope, she's fine. She's fine. So good throw. Good shots by all here. Bad news for Sherry Anderson is it's not really developing anything into an opportunity to steal. But sometimes you just have to be patient. Kelly throwing an out-turn hit again, and she's going to be fine as well. Sherry Anderson, the out-turn hit as Al Hackner makes his way out of the booth. It's nice of him to stop by, spend an end with Scott on the other game, the men's game, have a little chat about history in the past and all that sort of thing. Just a very famous name in curling. Terrific curler. He did not play a lot this year. He said he's going to be back, maybe playing men's and seniors and masters next year. That's scary. Win all three. Jacobs might be a little tough to knock off in Northern Ontario, but so Colleen Jones, open hit. Just try to hit, stick. Sherry will hit and stick, and Colleen will hit and stick, and it'll be 4-1 going to the next day. That's the short version of the game plan, anyways. Scoring sheet B, men's final remains Ontario 4, Manitoba 1 as they go to the 6th. Mary Sue Radford trying to make this one curl a little bit. Mary Sue gets a little bit over too far on the broom sometimes. It's just a little bit past the prime spot. And I'm no expert on directional sweeping. I'm just offering up my opinion. I think you need to still be sure that you are in front of the rock with the stroke at about 45 degrees or so going in the direction you want it to go in. Sometimes I think she just reaches across a little bit too far. That's me. If you want to correct me, you can certainly send me a tweet at ACC Super 55 and tell me I'm wrong. Of course, I may not get it for a couple of hours. It doesn't seem like my phone wants to pick up the connection in here too well. Maybe it's time for a new phone. Sherry Anderson throwing the draw here. Just split the house. Colleen rolled out on her takeout, so all you really need to do here is just don't make any mistakes with the sweeping. Make sure you're in the house. And they are. I keep it going a little bit more, get it over a little further. You never know. Only rolled out on her previous shot. She could possibly roll out on this one. So this will be an out-turn hit. Lots of room on the right hand or the left-hand side as we look at it. Sorry about that. I was standing up looking out in the rink, and it's opposite. So lots of room on the left to roll. Not very much on the right. Right being the high side, left being the low side. Well, keep the weight up here. She'll keep this fairly firm. She knows that she doesn't want to underthrow it and have it go all of a sudden curl by everything. That would be a mini disaster. She doesn't make very many mistakes when it comes to throwing a hit. Settling in the hack. Very deliberate. Very deliberate on a routine. Not doing the water thing this weekend. Well, because it's cold out there. So it's on its way. Mary Sue sweeping again, trying to get the curl. Might be a little on the high side. And it hits and rolls, but hangs around. So good job by second stone Mary Sue Radford helping that one curl a little bit. Good throw by Colleen Jones, and Nova Scotia picks up one in the 5th end to move to a 4-1 lead after 5 ends of play. Jones team in pretty good shape here. This next end was the end that Sherry Anderson did most of her damage this morning, though, so we know that that Sherry particularly and her team are a very good team. Sherry understands the game very well, so you need to make sure that you stay on top of things here and don't let her get ahead of you a little bit with some corner guards and whatnot. I really think that end, though, if I had to go back there, if I was sitting down doing a review of the game when it was all over, sort of a post-op thing, I would consider having a conversation about Sherry Anderson's decision to hit when Colleen had the 2 rocks out in the wings. You'd thrown the 2 center guards, and I know it gets a little dangerous, but you'd thrown those 2 center guards, and they were good guards, really good guards, but as soon as you went out and hit the rock in the wings, no matter what happened, even if you stayed, then you figure Colleen's probably going to play the peel, and they did, and made the double peel, because it's what happens when teams are going good. They make all those shots, and they're going very, very well. So I don't know that I really like that particular call, but anyway, that end's over. Move into the 6th end, and we have a rock in the 4-foot. Nancy Delahunt, as usual. Nancy always has that nice weight. She just knows where the rock needs to be. Sherry Anderson throwing up a corner guard. lead Anita Silvernagel. And wants to get this rock about halfway down. Sherry's looking for a little higher guard than the Bell Alliance symbol, where I thought was perfect, but that is a very good shot as well. Very good. So the corner guard's up. You're going to see Colleen probably throw 12 foot, rocking the 12 foot, I think.
I love throwing it through. I love throwing it through.
So these guys are trying to discuss. So what they're going to do here is throw it through. It's a strategy you do see quite frequently. I don't know that I love it. Nancy loves it, and she's throwing it. And Colleen loves it, and she's calling it. So more power to them. This is what they like. The only reason I don't like it is because I just think that corner guard is in a very good place. It's only going to take about a 1 foot roll to make this. Of course, I don't like this call either. I think Sherry needs another corner guard. You're gonna need a lot of help by going in this early. I would like to throw the corner guard on the other side. So Anita's asked to throw basically a little bit of a tap, just bump one back to the back of the 8 foot. It is a way to mount offense. It's a little bit of a less aggressive way to mount offense, so it's very confusing me a little bit with the strategy today. This will be a good shot if she makes it. She did. It's a very good shot. Very good shot. Problem now, as you can see, so what happens here is Colleen peels it. Sherry probably has to guard. Throw a guard on the one that just went in there, which is okay, but you already had the guard out there that you could use, so whoops. There we are. So Mary Sue, who's had a good game, very good game, throwing an out-turn peel. Kind of just moves the corner guard from one side to the other. So now she has the corner guard that I wanted her to throw the last shot. So that's a good thing. Chance to throw one more. Team Saskatchewan throwing the out-turn corner guard. Second stone, Brenda Gertson. Just be a little light. The girls are on it a little bit here, but looks pretty good, I think. They need to make a curl, so this is where you'd see one team, some teams, that lead sweeper would drop right off if they need to get it to curl a little bit, and there she goes. So great shot, perfect guard. Terrific shot. Heel coming. That's hard to throw those perfect guards. That's the other thing about that. It's just a real challenge to throw that rock in that perfect spot every time. Mary Sue Radford throwing the out-turn peel again. It looks like a good shot by Mary Sue. Perfect shot. Shot you want your second stone to throw and make. And she did. Same call here. As we move down the roster a little bit here. We've got third Patty here. Oh no, we don't. Sorry, I'm just one shot ahead of myself. Still Brenda Gertson throwing her second shot at the end. This one's hanging out there a long way. Well, they need to sweep this really hard. They need to move it over there, and getting it there. Pretty good. It's certainly open. Partially open on the outside. Actually, pretty much wide open on the outside.
We can play it tight or have edge to edge.
Girls just discussing weight, really. They agreed they're going to go after the one in the house.
A 9.5? Just in case if I do hit the front.
I think for a 9.5, that's right about the normal weight, depending on what your team plays. Don't seem to be completely agreeable on it. Kelly looking to remove the red stone. If she does, Sherry will still have a guard to work with, but it's you're gonna have to get through a hole or around a guard or whatever it is. See what she ends up throwing here. So she threw a 9. So a little bit heavy, but trying to make sure, I guess. Good shot. Now Sherry Anderson has to much harder shot than they had a few minutes ago. Playing a hack weight shot. Remove the stone on the button and preferably roll behind you the yellow, the Nova Scotia yellow stone. Now we have third Patty Hurst score. All big shots at this point, particularly for Saskatchewan, because you're down 3. You just don't have the luxury of missing much, if anything, from here to the end of the game. This looks like this could be a great shot. Might not have enough weight to make the roll. Whoa, got by and will stay right there and just roll maybe a half an inch to the inside. So I'm thinking that she just underthrew it a little tiny bit, but that's a heck of a curling shot, that I'll tell you. Getting pretty loud out there, so it's getting a little harder to hear for the curlers, you can tell. Kim Kelly being asked to throw a little bit lighter weight. Somewhere around a 10, I think I heard. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what I heard. So good shot by Kim. She threw 9.5, which is okay when you have a lead like that.
Whatever you know. Can we play? Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
We got an in-turn draw here. Girls are going to have to work this hard. This is not going to make the house. Went sideways, I don't know, but I think that's just a shortage of weight, really. So not a good throw for Patty. It's just a new path, probably. Just a, I mean, she actually looked like she might have got a little outside it, so might be a little frost out there. Sometimes that frost will grab it, turn it sideways, which kind of where that one went. So Colleen coming right around it as well. Saskatchewan in some trouble. Colleen makes this one good. Turn draw. Colleen Jones. On it early. I don't know that she has to for line yet, but she's probably close. Going hard. Going hard. This one's a little light too, but not too bad. Wow, actually not light at all. Great shot by Colleen. Kim totally understanding what was going on with that rock. It always amazes me. I could watch Kim play all day. She knows the game. She knows what's going on in the sheet. She just is just a terrific player. Wonderful lady, but terrific player as well. So she knew exactly what she had to do there. She was on that early and held it out there and ends up in a perfect position. 3/4 in the 4-foot, fully buried. Sure, you can get it. Like there's, definitely can get it on this ice. This ice is so good. John Walden's guys have just produced a great surface. And I know sometimes that's a little overused in curling these days, but this truly is. And it hasn't been without some challenges with weather and humidity and all that kind of stuff. But that's why these guys do what they do, and that's why we bring them from all over the country to do these things. If anybody could do it, we just do it ourselves. So Sherry Anderson has to go through that hole, and if she does, she has a chance to set up a 2 here. I wouldn't bet a lot of money against it. Sherry's got it on the way. This is pretty close. Can't hit that yellow one. And will it get the roll? Rolled a little too far. So close. So close for the Team Saskatchewan. Unfortunately, so close is not good enough right now when you're trailing 4-1. That was just, if they had maybe tried to carve that one a little bit, even once you got close to the guard and you knew you were going to get by it, maybe get that high sweeper on a little bit. That outside sweeper, only needed another probably inch of curl, and you would have been smack dab behind those red guards. Colleen with no chance to get it. As it is, it's basically wide open. Wide open with even the possibility of rolling inside for Colleen. Moving right along here, we're almost at the end of the 6th end. Like 2 more to go after this. Sherry Anderson's Team Saskatchewan team rather in trouble is not in trouble, not in a lot of trouble this game, just never really mounting any offense. Because the Jones team, quite frankly, has just been too good. So this one's wide open. Kim working hard to make it work, and she does. We only have 1 rock in play, so Sherry Anderson will probably play the blank here. Hit and roll out, try to blank this. That doesn't have a lot of options. Only problem if you feel good about, I think you have to try to blank it. I mean, if you stay, it's not, that's fine. It's not fine. I mean, you're not going to be in great shape, but you certainly need to at least attempt to blank it.
Take your one now and then try for the steal and the steal. Either one is going to be tough, but if you either go hard for 2 or you go hard for the steal. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Sherry Anderson has it on the go, and it's an out turn. Hit and roll out is the call. This is a very difficult way to do it from the inside out. And I think she's going to hit it on the nose. Probably would have been better off let it curl. But anyway, Sherry picks up 1. Sherry Anderson, Team Saskatchewan, picks up 1 point here in the 6th end, and now trails 4-2, going to 7 in the 2016 Everest Senior Curling Championships Women's Final. Just a reminder to everybody that you should visit bellalliant.ca/TV1 for online and on-demand content, as well as information on programming available to Bell Alliant Fiber Op customers in Atlantic Canada. Bell Alliant, there's more to love with Fiber Op. And I can tell you that we just installed it at our house. I mentioned a couple times in the broadcast, and it's amazing what you get and how it works. It's incredible. And well priced if you're a customer that's coming from one of the other providers particularly. So we are now in the 7th end. Team Saskatchewan will definitely need 2 guards, much as they did the 5th end when Anita Silvernagel threw a couple of dandies. They just decided not really to use those, which was kind of a mistake in my opinion. Having said that, never know. So, or Nova Scotia rather, Nancy Delahunt trying to play the tick shot here. Not positive how Colleen throws these ones or what she plays for weight on these. So it doesn't matter, it's not going to touch it. So that's kind of about a hack or board, probably board weight shot. But that's okay. You know, it's not the end of the world. You try to make that tick shot, and it's sometimes you make it, sometimes you don't. A lot of teams would go at that with less weight, but with the 4-2 lead, you know, in a tie game you might go at it with less weight, but with a 4-2 lead, I don't know that you want to stay around too much. So I can tell you, if you're watching this women's final here on Bell Alliant TV1, that in the men's final, Ontario has jumped ahead, scoring another 2 in the 6th end, I believe it was, to go ahead 6-1, playing the 7th. And Ontario is solidly ahead in that one, and I would expect that they will roll to victory here when it's all done. Down 5 with 2 ends to go. You play it because it's a championship final, I think, in this case. Otherwise, lots of times you'd be shaking hands. So they're trying the shot again. Nancy watching go down. I don't think you're going to make contact again. It's just not going to get over there. Kim trying to steer it over there, just not going to happen. So a couple of guards out there, one good one and one that's not probably helping you a whole heck of a lot. Yeah, I agree. Sherry Anderson says, I still like another guard because you'd like to have 2. And you like to have something a little tighter than that long one. So as we know, we watched this ice now for me, since Thursday morning, and it curls a lot. And there's nothing that's safe behind a long guard. Brenda Gertzen, in turn, come around. It's a come around, but it's a come around guard. So a good draw. Would have been nicer to be right behind the red one, because now, as you can see here, Mary Sue, who's had a terrific game, Mary Sue Radford, has the possibility of making the double and roll the shooter away. Some yeses and some no's, so she might be close. Oh, I see, it's curling too far. So lots of rocks in play now, way more than Colleen would like. They're mostly not a danger. Certainly the corner guards aren't a big danger, but they do take away the draw options on both sides. To draw the button now is probably not possible, even once that red one on the center line moves. I don't think that you can get to the button. You can get to the 4-foot on the other side of the center line in each case, but I don't think you can get to the button. So here comes Adita Silverberg, or Brenda Gertzen, sorry. Brenda's second shot, 7th end, playing a little bit of a tap. Not going to be a very big tap. Be okay, though. Colleen thinking about it a little bit. I think she's going to play this. I think you almost have to. See any other options, really. You could, if you really wanted to, I suppose. You could try running your yellow into the reds. The angles are right that you could get rid of both reds in that case, whereas this way I don't think you can. But you might be able to. Who's throwing here? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is Mary Sue again. The outturn hit. We'll call it an outturn double. Don't know if it's how hard a double it is. It looks pretty hard. Not hard at all. I thought those rocks were a little closer together than that. So Mary Sue continuing her hot ways in this game today. She has really played a good game. She's cleaned up messes probably 4 times in this game by making doubles. And Saskatchewan has to be probably a little frustrated, but that's the way it goes. Playing teams that are playing well, and Colleen Jones's team is playing well. Sherry Anderson goes for the center guard. Again, kind of have to do that. These guards that you have up there aren't probably going to score a point for you. And a force really doesn't do a lot for you here. Force a person to go up 3 and after 7 ends is not the best of plans. Kim Kelly playing the peel, and she will make it without too much trouble. A little bit of cleaning, but Mary Sue Radford. So now, Sherry might decide to kind of come behind a guard here just because it's getting a little difficult. And she will. So what she'll do here is play in here and hope that she gets maybe 3/4 buried. Maybe Colleen peels the guard off. Then she throws a little better guard. Kind of like the way you play in last end sometimes when you're having to steal a point, you just can't make it work with the center guard. And you'll see teams that they'll duck around the corner just to set it up. So at the very worst case scenario, they have an opportunity to maybe sit 2 on the team's last shot and make them throw their shot at least looking at a loss versus a tie. So anyway, that's sort of the concept here, and this can't be heavy though. Definitely is heavy, but I could probably hang around the back. Colleen Jones ready to go. So it does hang around. Colleen stops sweeping just to make sure it's accessible past the guard. You don't want to bury it behind the guard, but not of much use, that rock. Anything that far back. I think behind the tee line is not a great use, but if you were slipping back to the back of the 4-foot, you might be able to use it. That rock there is just not going to do too much. Just wait. Line was perfect. Just a hair heavy. So Kim Kelly throwing the peel. Actually, she was probably playing the back one with the peel being the option, if you will. So Sherry's going to go behind the other corner guard. She's not super optimistic of scoring one here, but at the same time, there's no guards to work with. You don't have much choice. This is the only one that's out there, so take advantage. Get it in there behind and see what Colleen does. It would be interesting to see, actually, what Colleen plays if you do bury this rock. Just bury it right behind the red one on the tee line. I'm not quite sure what Colleen plays. The option she would have would be to peel the guard. Would be to hit number 2 at the back of the house, but if you do that, Sherry Anderson comes around again. Or follow her down, which is a great shot, but yeah, better make her. So Sherry Anderson playing the in-turn come around. 7th end of our championship final here in Digby. The Digby and Area Recreation Center, where the folks from Digby and the Digby Curling Club and the fire department and everybody have done an absolutely amazing job again. They hosted this event 5 years ago, I believe it was. Everybody loved it. The players loved it. The town obviously loved it. It's a time of year that things aren't starting to move yet in Digby, and influx of money for the local businesses is great. This one's heavy, but probably it's okay. Again, it's unfortunately when you're the team that's behind, you just have to be better than that. Can't really say anymore. They're not playing terribly, but you can't throw back-to-back draws to the back of the 8-foot and expect that they're going to get you a point. So Nancy and Kelly discussing this. You could hit it right on the nose, your shot rock. Saskatchewan's going to have to do something with it. Good freeze to it, but with a 4-2 point, or a 4-2 lead rather, why put yourself in the position of playing a draw that things can go wrong with. And the one behind the guard, you could even hit that one, but again, you're not going to get any better than what you have by hitting this one, so why play the harder shot? Ouch. Sorry about that, just having a little glance at the men's game here. A couple of rocks to come in the 7th end over there, and Manitoba's looking like they might have a chance to get a couple. They probably need at least 3. Colleen Jones, in turn, take out on his way. See Colleen let it go, throws it so good. Nice firm weight. This one might roll out. That's okay. So good shot. Saskatchewan calling a timeout. Not really sure why. It's sort of a, well, I guess you have two. Only have one more end to play. Final of the Canadian Championship. You might as well make sure you take enough time to be confident in what you're playing. So the question becomes here, what do you do? Well, you need to sit two because you can't really do much more. You could come around the high guard. Just an update on the Alberta-Ontario women's game beside us, the bronze medal game. Alberta leading 4-3 with Hammer playing the 7th end. And it looks like they just scored 3 more. So yeah, so as I mentioned anyways, and they're shaking next door here. So Alberta will win that bronze medal game by a score of 7-3 over Team Ontario. Ontario not having the best day, losing a couple of games, but it's tough competition right now. So as I said, Sherry could play the out-turn freeze to the L1. She could play the in-turn draw or right guard. And if you're going to play the freeze, you might as well move it 2 inches and be sitting 2. So I think that's probably what she's doing. She's just not playing the hit just because of the risk involved with rolling out. Holding just a little bit tight on the line. That shouldn't be a problem because I'm guessing that she's going to be probably fully back 8 foot or better for weight. This ice is just so good. Watching the rock come down there is just so good. They hopefully didn't lose this. No, they're fine. Fine, except they would have liked to have held that right on that rock. But still, more or less did the job. I mean, Colleen has to play the same takeout regardless. It would have been a little better if they had forced her to do it with the rocker in behind. So anyway, congratulations to the Alberta team, Kathy King's team from Alberta for picking up the bronze medal here in the, what would amount to bronze medal game, I guess. Good performance after a couple of losses in a row. Colleen Jones beat her twice in the last 2 days, and Kathy bounces back on the game. So Colleen up 4-2. Colleen Jones looking to hit this on the nose, score 1 point, take the 5-2 lead to the 8th end. Not totally sure what they're thinking about. Yeah, I thought draw for a minute. Draw just doesn't make a lot of sense, in my opinion. I think that you have to play the hit here. Colleen is one of the best women's hitters in the world, one of the best hitters in general in the world, so why play the draw with a 4-2 lead? So it's on its way. Just need to get to the nose on this. Colleen screaming the ball. And she makes it with no problem at all. And takes a 5-2 lead. Scores 1, takes a 5-2 lead. And final end here at the 2016 Everest Senior Championships, Women's Championship final. Team Nova Scotia really putting on a show here today, just playing so well. That was the first end in a while that Saskatchewan actually even sat 2 at times. Just a great shot, great call. Team just playing well. So 5-2, going to be tough. Sherry does have a chance. I've seen 3-handers before, certainly to tie games up and to win games, and she obviously would have a great wealth of knowledge as to how to manufacture that 3. So as we look across here, we have the men's bronze medal game going with Nova Scotia actually having a 1 point lead, playing the 7th end. Horsell, BC. Bob with the hammer, but in trouble by the look of it over there. Team O'Leary in Nova Scotia is sitting 2 in the 4-foot, and I don't know, it just looks like a lot of rocks in front. So anyway, the men's final is over. They're shaking hands on sheet B. Team Ontario picks up a victory. Not sure exactly what the final score was. 6-4? Well, the posted 6-4. Anyway, regardless, they are shaking hands, and the game is over. And Manitoba's run, which was impressive, comes to an end. Ontario ends up about 10-1, I think, for the week. Maybe 11-1 for the week. They had an amazing week. Deserved champions. So we're back. Colleen Jones's team throws their first one through. No surprise there. Or no, yeah. No, they didn't actually. They threw it in the house and went to the back of the 4-foot. Sherry Anderson throws up the corner guard. Now Nancy Delahunt will be asked to peel her own out. Well, Nancy threw that pretty darn well for a shot that she wouldn't throw very often anymore. A peel. With the game the way it is, very rare that she would actually get an opportunity to throw that shot. She threw it really good. So good job by Nancy Delahunt after throwing her first one probably where she didn't want it, actually. One of the rare times that happens. She would have wanted to be top 4. Sherry Anderson throwing up a corner guard now on the other side. Lead Anita Silvernagel. Anita's had a good game. You know what? I don't think anybody's had a bad game here today. I just think the team from Nova Scotia has been a little better so far. If they can keep that up, put a gold medal in their pocket. This one looks pretty good. Would have liked to have been a little deeper. Be hard to use that one a lot. That's the only trouble with these corner guards I'm seeing here this week is that some teams are just leaving them out there a little bit too far. Here's Sue Radford. Great shot. Mary Sue, I'll tell you what, at the end of this event, she has to be completely thrilled with how she played today. She's an excellent curler at the best of times, and today she just stepped that up way beyond what you can expect. They just made double after double. It was just an impressive performance by Mary Sue Radford. Never really giving Saskatchewan a chance to mount any offense. So, Mary Sue, I've just bragged her up so much that I've jinxed a couple people on that this week, so hopefully I don't do that to her. She's going to be asked to play the intern peel here. It's on its way. Kim Kelly keeping it clean, keeping it straight, and there it goes. And another shot made by Mary Sue Radford. So we're moving pretty quickly. Saskatchewan really running out of time here. So the plan here from Sherry, she's decided, okay, that's it for corner guards. Can't afford to waste another rock on a corner guard. They're down 3 with only 4 to come. 5 to come, I guess. So she's decided she's coming around the yellow. She will actually come around the yellow for one of the rare times to be deep. This is when she'd actually like to be deep. So hopefully the girls can get it back to the back of the 8-foot. The way these days go, usually you're throwing them back there when you don't want to the whole day, and then all of a sudden you want one back there and you can't throw it there because you're so afraid of throwing it through, and you come up short. A little bit like this. Yeah, Sherry's got to work hard at it. Really do need to get it back there. So Colleen hits it and stays. You can use it. Just didn't curl enough for them. Weight was pretty darn good. I don't know what she could have done differently. Maybe she got it a little bit outside, but either way, perfect weight. Well done for Brenda. It just didn't curl enough. Kim Kelly waste much time anyways. Gets in the hack, fires it out here. Kim looking just to make this thing go away. She's close to that guard. She's going to stay right there. So that's a bit of a miss. Bit of a miss for Kim. So now Sherry comes around the corner again. I don't think you go anywhere near that one. I just think you play the straight guard draw around the guard here. So, but anyway, she's not. She's playing a little tap, but I'll tell you, she has to get her shot rock behind the guard. I don't care how she gets it there, but she has to get it there. If it doesn't go behind there, then it's just not going to do you much good. And over on sheet A, Alan O'Leary has just stolen 2 to take what I would think would be a 7-4 lead. So good shot here by third Patty Hersicorn, but again, it had to get behind that guard, and it is a little bit open. Kim Kelly, nice for Kim as it curls so hard here. You can throw this one pretty firm. So again, close to the guard, real close to the guard, and she sneaks by the guard again. So, haven't got many more opportunities here for Saskatchewan to get in here. She needs to get in on this shot. Only 3 rocks to come. She needs to make them all count. It's on its way. This one needs to curl. It's just doesn't have quite the same hook we had earlier, but make sure it's in and hopefully get that curl at the end. Getting over there. So pretty good shot. Pretty much buried. Colleen rips the guard, I think. Yeah. I think you just hit the guard. Basically, you peel this guard out, and then you're going to have an open hit on your last to win the game. Oh, Scotia in really good shape here. As we wind down here, I want to thank everybody in Digby for everything they've done this week for this event. It's been a tremendous effort. I want to thank the guys in the production booth who have been here and worked very hard this week. And I think that from what I heard, we're giving them off, I think, before they have to go to Kentville and Wolfville for the Masters next week. Maybe even 16 hours off, but that's it. Gotta work them hard. They're young. So Colleen makes the peel. Almost didn't make the peel. Nice thing, though, if it had gone by, it probably takes out the... So Sherry Anderson will throw an out-turn freeze basically down there in that pocket and hopefully find a way that Colleen can't remove either red stone. And, you know, it's... if you can freeze a little bit on the low side, so a little on the right-hand side of the yellow one, maybe, you might be able to find a way that Colleen can't remove something without making a great shot. It's on its way. So I want to thank all the sponsors involved with this event as well. Certainly Everest, they've been remarkable. And all of the local sponsors have been terrific. Governments and businesses have been just marvelous. This is a little heavy. Probably going to bump a little. And it does. So Colleen Jones will have an open hit to end this game. Just got to think about it for a second. Make sure you realize what you have to hit here, because you can hit anything in the crotch of those two stones, in the center of those two stones with some weight, and something's going. The only thing you can't do here is underthrow this and have it over curl. Colleen knows that. Smart enough to know, and she also likes to throw it a little firm, so she will throw this firm. Sweepers will be able to hold it, I think. So what might be the last shot of the game about to come down here. Colleen Jones needing to remove one red stone, one Saskatchewan counter to secure a victory here at the 2016 Everest Senior Curling Championships Women's Final. And it's on its way. Little extra arm movement. And the sweeper's on it, Mary Sue Radford on it. And I think she's fine. And congratulations to Colleen Jones and her team from the Mayflower Curling Club. There's a big cry, big roar comes up in the crowd. Have a great crowd here today. And your 2016 senior champions are Colleen Jones from Mayflower Curling Club here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Congratulations to Colleen. Her team played great, and they played great when they had to play great when the playoffs come along. Congratulations to Team Saskatchewan. A lot of girls that haven't played a lot at the national level did great, winning a silver medal here. And that will conclude our broadcast from Digby, Nova Scotia. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to the broadcast crew down below. Appreciate their efforts. And congratulations, Team Jones.